news,
Lobbyists are fed up with politicians accepting their money and then not coming through.
opinion,
When the automated police force orders you inside, that's just them doing their job.
remix.
Even lost my job partially due to the whole global warming issue. Increase in oil prices. This guy's scared.
This is Top Story with KLIX and Jill Skeen,
I've been a listener for about 20 years.
I'm talking to you makes me feel better.
where the news meets your opinion. Pick up the phone and talk about it. 736-0300. That's 736-0300. Now, here's the hosts of Top Story, KLIX and Jill Skeen.
And good morning and welcome to Top Story. 736-0300 is always the number to call. And good morning, Jill.
Good morning, Kelly.
And good morning to Cassie.
Cassie is back.
Yeah, she's the shadow, the job shadower today. We're going to call her the intern.
Now, we had you last week?
Yes.
And then things got a little rough on air, and then we didn't see you again. And so we thought we scared you, but you've been sick. So in case people were wondering.
So now, is it every Thursday or?
It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh,
Monday
so
to
you'll be
Thursday.
coming in
She was
each
just
of those
sick,
days.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well,
So anyway, anyone who has questions for Cassie, we're going to have her pick a topic someday and have her
Yeah.
passionately defend it.
there you go.
Yeah, we'll see how she does.
Hey, by the way, for the last, this will be the third day, I guess. Yeah, the third day today. We've been videoing our webcast. We call them our KLIXcasts.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
And those are replacing just the audio podcast that you've normally been able to go to our website and listen to.
Okay.
Now you can not only listen, but I don't know if it's an advantage or not.
I know.
But
You get
now
the
you
pleasure
can
of
see it
watching.
also. So when we have interesting guests, you can actually see the guests.
But you do cut out the stuff in between, right?
Yeah, we cut out
On the
the
breaks.
commercials and all that kind of
Because
stuff.
we don't
so-
want them to see us fighting at the break. You know,
That's
when you
right.
I come over, I grab your neck, I shake you.
I know.
say
Crazy. You don't
I
want
know.
to see that.
I know.
I know. See, Cassie has witnessed that. I think that's really the reason
That's why we
she
thought
hasn't
she
been in
didn't
the
come
last
back.
few days, is because the violence that goes
Cassie,
on
Cassie was like,
during
wow.
the breaks.
Wow.
So you still won't be able to see that.
Yeah.
But at any rate, each day our KLIXcast will be uploaded to our website, newsradio1310.com. Click on Top Story, and then go to the KLIXcast. So
Well, not too
there you
many
go.
people see you. It's always me and the guest.
I know. I
I
can kind of
barely
slip
see you.
back in
I know,
here
I know.
behind, and nobody can really see. And that's
I'm going to
good.
move that camera one day
That's
after
good
the
be-
show. Move it more towards the...
Bill,
the
because
guest.
I have a face made for radio. I
Oh, do
really
you?
do. So I have a body made for radio.
I have hair
so.
made for radio.
Now Cassie, on the other hand, she's very
Adorable.
Yeah, she's what do you call that when the camera is
You're photogenic.
photogenic. That's what I
Yeah.
was trying to think of. Yeah, she's very photogenic.
Young, sweet.
So. Yeah,
nice.
that's right. So she's
She hasn't been
perfect for that.
jaded yet. A week on this show, though. She'll be
right.
leaving like, get out of my
That's
way.
right. Well, I asked her if she was liberal or conservative, and she said she didn't even know what that was.
She'll find out soon.
So
We'll see what tugs
she'll
at your
get
heart.
a schooling.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we have the Cops of the Bad Guys list coming up at 8:30. At 9 o'clock, Kelly Jones will be with us. She's an author. She's from Twin Falls. Actually, she and I went to school together, I guess, way back in the early days at St. Ed's.
That's what she said on the phone to me. I was like, wow.
I'm really surprised that someone would actually admit that they went to school with me, but, that kind of makes me feel good.
I know. It was a
So,
little shocking.
Yeah. But she has written a book, Evel, Knievel, Jumping the Snake River Canyon.
I know.
It's quite a novel, and so we're going to have her on here to talk about the book, since it's so timely and all.
Plus, she's having a book signing today.
Yes, she is.
So
That'll be fun. Also, one of our own, Peter Bierma, has made a video. A lot of times people get things mixed up between Idaho, Iowa, and Ohio.
yes, they do.
Now, he has a video on our website at newsradio1310.com that explains in video the differences between Idaho, Iowa, and Ohio, and how you will know you're in those states.
I would love to see that since I'm originally from Ohio.
Yeah.
And now I live in Idaho.
Yeah.
And my dad actually thought He said, so you're not moving to Iowa? I'm like, no. He goes, you mean it's over? Like with me and Tom? I said, no, Dad, it's Idaho. Idaho. So my dad thought I was moving to Iowa. Anyway, this should be interesting. I'd love to see the Ohio part.
Yeah, well, Ohio is mentioned briefly. It's mostly Iowa and Idaho. But at any rate, I've got the audio here. I mean, it leaves a lot out if you can't see the video. So I would highly suggest you go to our website and watch the video. But the audio itself is funny.
Happened again the other day. I mentioned to someone that I live in Idaho, and they said, "Oh, I love the Midwest." Idaho is a very different place than Iowa right here. Corn and potatoes are very different crops, but just in case it's still unclear, you know that you're in Idaho when there's guns, canyons, spiders, and bears. When Colbert makes fun of your bright red state, it means that you're probably there. No one can pronounce either state capital. We're one state from Washington. Hemingway took his life after moving here, but that said, the state's actually a lot of fun. Red state, blue state, Northwest, Midwest, Sarah Palin, Johnny Carson, Ashton Kutcher, Aaron Paul, the Snake River Canyon, and the Field of Dreams. Iowa City's got the best pedestrian mall. This is Idaho. Iowa is way over here. Much more than potatoes. It's also got the fling.
There's Micron.
All right, so there you go.
I remember. I didn't even hear
Compliments of
Ohio.
our own Peter Bierman.
Yeah, that was very good. He's actually a musician.
Yes.
So in case people are wondering.
Yeah, so he did a very good
He's
job.
very
So go to our
talented.
website, newsradio1310.com, and click on the video tour of the difference between Idaho and Iowa.
Yeah, it was more.
So-
I didn't really even hear Ohio. Did you?
It was just in there once, just very briefly.
Peter,
so you
come
kinda had
on.
to be
Where's the
listening.
love? My roots.
Anyway, we do have some news today. Okay, you know all of the furor that was had at the recent Republican convention in Moscow.
Mm-hmm.
They adjourned with the understanding, well, the same people who are in office now with the Republican Central Committee and the state offices for the Republican Party, they would remain in office. But now,
Well, that's been disputed because Steve Millington said that there was no agreement. They adjourned, that he wasn't aware of this. So I don't know if they're trying to do a PR thing or what.
Well, anyway, the part of the understanding was, okay, and that's been what the fight's been over.
Mm-hmm.
Do the officials who have been in power remain, or do they have no one in power? Now they have to get the Central Committee together and they have to vote and decide on some new leaders. So that has been, there's the Barry Peterson side who claimed that they're all still in office, and then there's the other side who claims nobody is in office.
Because
the more
Barry
traditional
Peterson is the chairman.
Yeah, Barry Peterson is tradition. He's from the more right-leaning segment of that party, and for lack of a better word, they've been calling them the Tea Party side, but I think that's kind of unfair. But at any rate, the more right-wing. And then the more traditional Republicans say, no, nobody's in power. So they've decided they're going to meet on August 2nd. The Barry Peterson side decided they're going to meet on August 9th and decide what's going on. Then there's this new wrinkle.
Yeah.
From, if I got to find his name here, from the...
This is from the Idaho Statesman, at least. The
Right,
article
it's from
was.
the Idaho Statesman. But who was the one from Rexburg who said this? Was it Razor? R-A-S-O-O. Cornell Razor, a former Bonner County commissioner, announced that the existing officers and state party platform would all remain in place. But he said, oops, I inadvertently misread the rules.
What?
He said during a telephone interview Tuesday, it was my fault, not Raul Labrador's.
Oh, we wouldn't want to hurt Raul Labrador's reputation.
It's really that simple, he says. The rules are written in a way that pertinent information is split between multiple sections. Article 5 and Article 6 of the convention rules, for example, deal with nominating and voting on state officers. Similarly, Article 1, Section 5 of the state party rules note the party chairman is elected at the state convention. Only 8 pages later, in Section 16, do the rules specifically say the chairman serves a 2-year term.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I missed that.
Did he?
Mr. Razor said. That's what happened. I didn't read all the pertinent sections. So the issue is now what to do about it and whether party members can agree on a path forward.
Now they're having 2 different meetings. One August 2nd,
August 2nd,
one
that's
August
the more
9th.
traditional. Mike Matthews, who is the first vice chairman, I believe, chose, it was up, anyway, he said they're going to meet on August 2nd. The Barry Peterson side of it said they're going to meet on August 9th. So I don't know what good that's going to do with having both factions at their own separate meetings, but they're hoping in the meantime that the two can come together and decide that August 9th is bad because apparently that's when the National Republican Committee is meeting and they have to send delegates to that. And if they don't decide before the National,
right,
then they only have 2 delegates instead of 3.
Right. And I used the word convention the other day with Randy Staples because I'm like, don't they have – I said I misspoke, but it's the Republican National Committee is meeting. So it will hurt our state. I don't know what they're trying to do. I mean, I don't know how you get these 2 people together, these 2 groups. And this is kind of a microcosm of what's happening across the country. I mean, when you had the Mississippi Senate election the other day, and the Tea Party far right, McDaniel lost, and Cochran won, and now he's like, really they're talking about the conservatives have left us, and maybe starting their own party. You see even Sarah Palin's talking about this, maybe having their own conservative party, but did the conservatives leave them, or is it the people say, no, we don't want to go there? You know what I'm saying? Admit that maybe your platform and your ideas are not what they had in mind. And so he hasn't. So I think this is happening across the country. And I think the Republican Party has a severe divide going on. And I don't think it's going to bode well. It could break the Republican Party in two, which looks like it's doing already. And if you sit on your ideological stumps like they are, you can't get anything together. Right now, you have 2 meetings going on in Idaho. So one decides one thing, one decides the other. That isn't going to resolve anything.
Well, what they're hoping is that they can come together with an agreement, maybe get this thing together into one meeting so they can decide what's going to happen. So
right now, they can't even do one meeting. So I'm thinking, I think this is a turning point for the Republican Party. I really do. What do you guys think? Being Republicans out there?
I don't know. I think the death of the Republican Party has been greatly overemphasized or over-exaggerated or whatever. I think one thing is for sure for Idaho, they need to add one more person to their executive, and that is someone who knows the rules. You're going to have what do they call them?
Does anyone know the rules? Did Raul Labrador know the rules? Did anyone there know the rules?
I'm sorry. This is a ploy to keep Raul Labrador clean. I think Raul Labrador was in this up to his neck.
Oh, absolutely.
But this is a ploy. I mean, hey, look, you know what? Everybody knows I'm Republican leaning. Everybody knows I'm a conservative. But I tell you what, I mean, the writing is on the wall here. But anyway, the Republicans need somebody who knows the rules. Seven 7360300 is the number to call at 8:30. We have the Cops of the Bad Guys list coming up. We have callers waiting. And I wanted to tell you about the Certiset from Far More of Idaho. This Certiset, and I told you before, this is not a new mattress set. This is a pipe set. You put these pipes out in your field, and then there's attachments on your equipment that lift the pipe up and set it back down behind you so that you don't have to move the pipe before you can harvest your crop. This really works well in alfalfa hay. As soon as you get the crop off, bingo, you can turn the water back on. You don't have to have a crew come in and move the pipe out or move it back in. It just stays there, and you work around it. It allows you to work around it. They can explain it better than I can at Far More of Idaho. Give them a call, 324-3341, or at farmoreofidaho.com, and they can tell you all about it. 736-0300, top story. Whoop, they couldn't wait. What about this one here? Top story, you are on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. And to that little gal you got there,
Cassie.
Figure out what conservatism it is and stick with it.
Oh,
Go liberal, whatever you do. Anyhow, you know what you were just saying, Jill.
Yeah.
You know what has happened to the Republican Party? Nothing has happened to the Republican Party. It is some of the Republicans have thought, well, I've got to keep up with the Joneses and make everybody happy. They will not stick with their guns. The thoughts of turning, my opinion, say, let's take a subject, say abortion, will never change no matter what anybody says.
Why don't we say gay marriage?
Pardon me?
Why don't you say gay marriage, since that
Okay,
seems
gay
to
marriage.
be
Gay marriage.
overruling the country.
My opinion on gay marriage will never, ever change, because I'm not going to change my opinion to fit in with anybody. Because what I am is what I am, and I will not change that. No how, no way. But anyway, there's still, like in Mississippi, on that election, I was listening. I heard some of the advertisements that Cochran put out. You know, and this is from a Republican telling people, well, if you vote for that guy because he's part of the Tea Party, they're going to take away your welfare. They're going to take away your food stamps. And
education. He said education. He was taking away.
Too. He said that too. But that has nothing to do with it. They're not doing that. But anyway, so they used a scare tactic to get people out to vote. There were people showing up at the polls that had never voted before because they're Democrat voting for this guy to help him get over the top. Now, fine, that's their right. They can vote whoever they want to. But as far as the Republican Party itself, you look back at Ronald Reagan, that is still the Republican Party. When people had the backbone, when people had enough grit, stand up and say, this is my beliefs, and I will not change that just to fit in. Boehner, who I thought would be a great Speaker of the House, he's a disaster. Because
I have a question for you. So I want to see if you agree with me or not. Part of my outlook on this whole thing is that the Republican platform or the conservative platform is not leaving the people. The people are leaving conservatism.
Well, I completely agree.
Oh, so what does that say? I mean, what
does say? Well, if you don't mind, I'll tell you what it says, Jill. What that says is those are the people that are gonna change their lifelong beliefs just to fit in, just to make somebody else happy. Like gay marriage, you mentioned that a second ago. That is something 20 years ago was unheard of.
Right, and then they then they have gay children. But if you look at the Constitution, why would you deny someone the right to get married? Because for any reason, we all should have the equal access and equal protection under the law. And Ronald Reagan would not be a Republican in this party today.
Oh, Jill, you're so wrong.
Now, can you let me finish, please? For one thing,
go ahead. Give me a chance to rebut.
Fine. For one thing, he raised taxes 11 times. He also was for amnesty. At one point, he was pro-choice. He would not have been in the Republican Party as defined today. And the fact that people are leaving the Republican Party, look at your platform. It's going more and more to the right. Some places are actually trying to ban birth control. They're banning any services for women. How are you expanding your party? All you do is make it smaller and smaller. And that's not what Ronald Reagan stood for. It was a Big Tent party. I don't see it going any bigger.
No, the Republican Party, conservatives, like I'm no longer a Republican. I said that here a couple months ago when they raised that last debt ceiling. I've had it with these guys. Conservatism, it's not something you pick. It's something you are.
Yeah, I agree. I got to let you go. But
you're not going to win elections, and that's fine. The people do not want your platform.
The attitude of Americans is changing. America is changing. I'm not saying it's changing for the better.
Why not?
But many people will, because liberalism is what's dragging this country down. Pretty soon, everybody's going to expect the government to furnish everything, and that's kind of what the liberal agenda is. Oh, yes, we want to be your government. We want to furnish you everything. We want you to rely on us instead of the conservative platform, which is a small government, and people will take care of things themselves.
Small government, unless you want to marry who you want to marry, and unless you don't, and you want to take care of something with your own body, then you're in our vaginas, and then you're in our marriage.
That's a liberal
Those are
belief.
Constitutional rights.
It's
and
also
you guys,
a liberal belief.
No.
Our forefathers never even dreamed that this would be coming up, but now it is, and now because of the way that it was written, we have to deal with the consequences.
Don't screw with the Constitution so you can have a smaller government.
It is a liberal belief. Our country is becoming more liberal, more socialist, and it won't be long now until we will cease to exist. Mark my words. 736-0300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. So welcome back. I was going to tell you, if you haven't stopped by Bish's RV yet, they've still got a whole slew of RVs out there, and they've all got your name on them. So you could take your pick, and from Autumn Ridge, Dutchman, Cougar, Montana, Voltage, Northern Light. It doesn't make any difference. They've got them all. This is one of their 4 stores in the state. So if you don't find what you want at the Twin Falls store, chances are you will find it at one of the other stores around the state. They are the largest RV dealer in the state of Idaho. Bish's RV, stop in. They got a complete parts and service department. They got everything you need when it comes to your RV. So tell them that Kelly and Jill sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. We have with us this morning Sergeant Ken Mencl from the Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office. Good morning, officer.
Good morning. Good
Sergeant, how are you today?
Great.
Good morning.
Thanks.
And now you're replacing Dan Thompson. You're going to be our regular.
Yes.
And so welcome.
Thank you.
Did he warn you about anything at all?
He said Jill can sometimes be a little crazy.
What? Is that right? Did you bring your taser on you? Give me that taser. Anyway, well, welcome. We're glad to have you.
He was wrong. A lot crazy is more like it.
Stop.
Okay, so you got some bad guys for us today.
I do. I've got one. We are looking for a Michael Jared Keller. He's out of the Buell area. Mr. Keller's 5'11". He's 168 with brown hair and hazel eyes. And he is wanted for aggravated assault, which is a felony, and his bond is $100,000. He's got 2 warrants, actually. He's also wanted for domestic battery in violation of a no-contact order, and that bond is $10,000. And he's somebody that the sheriff's office would really like to see come to our jail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So now, if someone knows where this guy is, they can make a few bucks, right?
Yes, they can through Crime Stoppers.
All right. What do you have that number?
Yeah, I don't have Crime Stoppers' number handy on me, but they can certainly call our non-emergency dispatch line at 735-1911. And information leading to the arrest of Mr. Keller, we'd certainly hook him up with Crime Stoppers and see the reward could be paid out.
All right. That's not
You
bad.
know, people could use a little money in the summertime, don't you think?
A little gas money for the boat.
I think so.
Yeah, a little beer money. Hey,
That's
you know.
right. And then get in a wreck.
Right.
Now, you said we're having a little bit of a problem.
We are.
This time
This
of
is
year.
known as the worst 100 days during a year, during the summer. And the summer months bring out a lot of people wanting to enjoy the weather and go out and recreate and have a good time.
And have no common sense at all, right?
Common sense sometimes seems to fleet people, yes.
So has this been an especially bad summer?
You know, in the couple of weeks that we've been working, we've seen some extraordinary things, some real tragedy. We've seen quite a few car crashes. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, one resulted in the death of an individual. Those are never fun crashes to go to.
No.
Crashes aren't fun at all, but when it involves somebody who's lost their life, that makes it specifically tough on the first responders to have to deal with that.
So what is it about summer that brings this on?
You know, a lot of times people just get focused. They get focused on what they're doing, where they're going, people they're hooking up with, going to have a good time. And I think a lot of times they just forget that there's people around them, and they have to worry a lot more about just themselves and the bubble that they're in, but the bubble that everybody else is in around them.
Well, there was a study, I think it was like a week or so ago, that said more car accidents are like Friday afternoon than any other time, because you're probably thinking, oh, what am I going to do for the weekend? I'm going to meet my friends tonight, blah, blah, blah. And if everyone's thinking that, can you imagine?
You know, it was interesting the other day. I was driving around Twin, and I wasn't in my patrol car. And it's amazing to see what some people are doing when they don't see a police car in the area, you know, texting and
Were you sitting there saying, "Oh, where are my lights?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, could you have pulled them over anyway, even being off duty?
I wouldn't. No.
You wouldn't?
And, it'd have to be a very extreme case, and in that situation, I probably just got on the phone and get an officer there to take care of that.
Yeah, it's amazing what people do. Huh?
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen people do in their car when you pulled them over that caused a problem?
The texting seems to be a really bad problem right now.
Is it?
The other day, I was following a girl down Blue Lakes, and she had her sunroof open, and the music was up loud, and she didn't have her hands on the steering wheel. They were up through the sunroof. And she was just having a good time driving down Blue Lakes, and it was 5 o'clock in the evening with lots of traffic, and she was impervious to the fact that there were other people on the roadway. She was just having a good time.
Did you pull her over?
I did, yeah.
So that kind of ruined her. It's like a buzzkill, huh?
Well, she got a warning, so she was really grateful that she didn't get a ticket, but we just discussed, being safe.
How old was she? Was she Cassie's age?
She was a minor.
Cassie. Now, Cassie, do you ever drive and text? No. That's the right answer.
Heavens, no. I don't either. Never. No. I always drive with my hands on 10 and 2. Or is it 3 and 9 now that they're...
I thought it was 10 and 2. Did they change it, 3 and 9?
I don't know what the DMV keeps up with. There's different course of thought for each. In law enforcement, they teach us 3 and 9.
Oh, they do? 3 and 9.
Oh, okay.
I was taught 10 and 2.
Well, I was back in the old days, before they had power steering and automatic transmission. So I think back then it was 10 and 2.
You had a horse buggy. You just pulled back.
I
you
did.
pulled back.
I started learning in the horse and buggy, and then I graduated to a Model T when they finally got one in the school district. But there you go.
So recommendations: be safe, use common sense, don't drink and drive, don't drink and drive a boat. Right?
That's right. We've also had a couple of accidents out on the water this year on jet skis, and the person ended up in the hospital with some pretty serious injuries. So.
Well, Sergeant Ken Mencl, thanks for coming in, telling us about this stuff, because we're going to do better now. Promise.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, and be safe out there.
This is Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX. 7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. I don't know, folks. Jill is corrupting Cassie, our intern.
Now, it's funny. We asked her about this.
Liberal thinking.
We asked her about the show, and she goes, I think I have a topic that I'm passionate about. I go, what? She goes, gay marriage. I'm like, you go, girl. You go.
Well, anyway, tell us about mailboxes.
I will.
I've been sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to hear the continuation of this mailbox story.
Once upon a time, the UPS store, located on the corner of Blue Lakes and Addison. You can go in. You can rent a mailbox. And you say, Jill, why do I need a mailbox? And I'll tell you why. Because if you have a home business and you don't have a retail location, you don't want people coming around your house looking for you. You want a mailbox that you can go get your mail. No one knows exactly where you live. If you're moving, if you're worried about the security of your mail, go to the UPS store, rent a mailbox. But you have to tell them that Joe or Kelly sent you in order to receive the 1, 2, or 3 additional months free. And, of course, that's based on the length of the lease that you rent. So go to the UPS store, and while you're there, you can ship, you can package, you can buy a cute little animal card. There's no drop-off fees for prepaid packages or mail, and you can easily design or upload your projects from any place, anytime, and they'll print them for you. So go to the UPS store, tell Charles and the crew, Joel and Kelly and Cassie sent you.
There you go.
Yay.
Coming up at 9 o'clock, we'll be talking to Kelly Jones.
Yes.
She is the author of the book, and I have the bookmark right here, Evel Knievel Jumps the Snake River Canyon.
That's right.
So very, very timely stuff here.
I don't even know if that's an accurate title. He doesn't jump it. He never jumped it.
I know.
He fell into it. Maybe it should have been Evel Knievel fell into the Snake River Canyon.
I have to say, I was there and I saw that. And I know there have been people come out, including the ones now who are working to jump the canyon. They say, oh, no, he made it across, but the wind blew him back.
Yeah.
From the angle that I was looking at, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. He didn't even make it a tenth of the way across the canyon. He was, but anyway.
Pshaw.
Yeah.
Kelly says pshaw.
Who am I?
Pshaw.
I'm just an eyewitness.
You were just the one. No, you were calling it.
I
were calling it.
Anyway, we got a caller. 7360300. Top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, lovely Jill. Hello, young lady. Cassie, are you... Listen to all these people that are conservatives. They're not inclusive. The world is all its communication is becoming one. So we all got to be inclusive of different religions, different of everything. So just think for yourself. Don't be either a liberal or a conservative. Think for yourself. On another topic, Kelly, isn't what's going on in the Magic Valley right now with all these low-paying jobs and stuff, but giving benefits to the rich and powerful corporations that come up here? Isn't that what Reagan called trickle-down economics?
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously not working here, so I don't know. Conservatism, take it for what it's worth. Economics, they're not economically sound.
I think it was voodoo economics they called it.
Actually,
it doesn't work.
The trickle-down economics kind of encourages you to better yourself in life, but the liberal side of it is, oh no, everybody has to get the same amount of pay, and we have to force all the businesses and everybody to pay higher and higher and higher. See, that just encourages everybody to not go out and try to improve themselves. It's up to the government. It's up to big business. It's up to all these businesses they work for to improve their way of life. It's not for them to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and improve themselves. You see? So that's just another way where liberalism fails. Liberalism is turning us into a generation of mush. So
really? No, that's not what trickle-down economics is. They were saying if you give the tax breaks to the biggest corporations, it will trickle down and everyone will do well. And if you can see right now, it is not happening. Corporations, between the CEO and the worker, they're making over, 260 times what the average worker is making, the highest in probably history. It's not trickling down. They could pay their people a living wage so that the government doesn't have to subsidize their wages. That's not, it hasn't worked. It won't work. That's not, trickle-down economics is voodoo economics. It never worked. It's true.
That's what you think.
No, they have facts. They have history. They look at the economy. This is what's going on. If
the
we had
reason big
trickle-down
business
economics,
is not spending their money is because they don't trust the government. They don't trust the administration right
for
now.
everything.
And the administration wants to go in and take everything away from them. And another thing, since we're on the subject, we keep talking about all these rich Republicans who are just screwing this world and screwing this nation. Some of the richest people are Democrat, are liberal. They go after Mitt Romney because he's worth $250 million, but yet they ignore Oprah Winfrey, who's worth $2.1 billion. So talk about...
What does that mean?
What do you mean,
my
what does
gosh,
that mean?
What we're talking about is why are these people then going against raising the minimum wage? Why are they going against equal pay for equal work for women?
Because the government shouldn't be able to tell you how much you're going to pay your help.
And yet we are subsidizing their workers. So we are paying for these companies who are not paying their people a living wage. Is that right? Why don't they pay them a living wage?
That's because of the liberal welfare system.
It's not because of liberal welfare system.
Of course it is.
Oh, at least they're getting food stamps because they aren't making it at their company. You know what? When they get a higher minimum wage, everyone does better. The economy does better. But why are the Republicans constantly voting down rights for women, equal pay for equal job?
Oh my God!
Why? Oh my gosh! 51% of the country are women. When women do better, families do better.
The country is becoming more liberal. They're leaving the conservative ways.
I would too. They don't back any policies for any kind of
someone else to
deny people health care,
deny
people health care, deny people food stamps. Let's get the kids off any kind of food stamps to help these children that are starving. Let's not increase the minimum wage. Let's not give women the same equal pay. Can you imagine that? They actually voted against that. They voted against refinancing for student loans. Even though you can refinance your house, you can refinance anything. The Republicans blocked that. So give me a break. Are they really for the middle class? I don't think so, but their big concern is let's give more tax breaks to the wealthy, but to refinance student loans so they could close a tax loophole for the wealthy, they're not doing that. Give me a break. I would leave the Republican Party. I would never even be a Republican. I don't know how women are Republicans. I have no idea.
You are a liberal thinker, and I understand that.
Great.
I have come to
denying
accept that,
people
Jill.
marriage based on their sexual orientation. That's not smaller government. That is big government. Get out of our lives.
7360300. Top story. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know where to start because I had a couple of comments that Jill just anyway, my two comments is the liberal economy is showing how it really works. We just shrunk in the first quarter of this year. We shrunk 3%, and that's Obama. And
really? That's Obama?
No.
Yeah,
that's
that's
George
Obama.
Bush's fault. That's Ronald Reagan's fault. You don't understand. You
You've
need to
got
get into that way of
Republicans.
thinking.
You've got
you see?
Republicans blocking anything that would help the economy.
Of
Can
course.
I give my other comment real fast?
Sure,
And this
go
is-
ahead. Go
this
ahead.
This is to you. If you're a conservative, you are definitely against Common Core. You can't be on the fence. Because if you're a conservative, you're against smaller government, not bigger government. And that's what kills me about our governor and Steve Sims. I mean, they say they're conservative, but yet they're both for Common Core.
Okay, well, hey, I'll accept that. I don't know. I'm leaning against it. If that helps you any better, I don't know.
We would hate for people to actually have standards and do better. Our schools in Idaho are awful. And compared to other states, come on, we have to up it. We're actually going to get a teacher on here who actually teaches other teachers Common Core and a math teacher who teaches Common Core to help counteract whatever.
But as Mandy Baker told us here last week, and by the way, that podcast is on our website at newsradio1310.com. You can go back and listen to that a lot of the stuff in our education system is tied to strings to the federal government. And boy, I tell you what, that scares me.
You get money, they should tie strings to it. We dumped $1 million, just $1 billion. My gosh.
I want to take the
there
next
should be
caller.
strings attached when you give that kind of money.
See, that's the liberal way of thinking. There should be strings attached to the
be
federal
no
government in
accountability.
everything we do, which there is. You cannot do anything in life now without some heavy hand of the federal government coming down on you, keeping an eye on you. You can't do that. You can't do this. Oh, you're going to do that? Well, then here, we got all these fees and all these permits you got to get.
Well, let me say one thing. When Henry Paulson and they bailed out the banks and the Wall Street, the guys who screwed over how many people, and they gave them billions and billions of dollars with, guess what? No strings attached. Nothing happened. They were supposed to sit there and help small businesses and give out loans, and they didn't. They kept it. They gave themselves bonuses. So I'm sorry. You need strings attached to if you're going to give them billions of dollars.
I'm not saying to cut all strings,
but
everything
that
we
was
do.
Republicans.
You can't even go out in your backyard and put in a little building without the county coming to you and saying, uh-oh, you didn't get a permit. We're going to have to fine you now. That's the kind of strings attached that I'm talking about. Absolutely. There's all kinds of corruption in the federal government. There just is. I don't know what to do about that. I can't help it.
I don't think
but
it's
not
corruption.
getting any better. Every time something comes up, we got to have a law to keep that from happening. And then we're so strangled by all these laws that we have to deal with, we can't
all the
move.
laws. But you know what? Let's get rid of the EPA and let's have dirty water. Let's have anything polluted. Let's not have our food inspected. You know what?
Now you're going to the extreme. Anybody who's...
The conservatives want to wipe out the EPA. They want to get rid of the agency.
Not all of them
Give me a break.
Not all of them
Your
do.
national Republican candidates wanted to. Come on.
7360300. Top story, you're on the air.
I don't even know where to start.
Oh, come on, Kyle. Start somewhere.
Oh yeah, Jill. I mean, come on.
What?
You have at least admitted, even across the table from me,
what?
That we probably agree on a lot of stuff. And we do. The problem is we agree on all kinds of stuff. We don't agree on how it's supposed to happen. We don't agree that the government is supposed to be out of our pocket. You want them in our pocket. We want them out of our pocket. Trickle-down economics works.
It does not.
It does too.
It did not, Kyle. It hasn't. It hasn't.
Let me talk, Jill. Let me talk. If you pull out the companies in this place, what would happen? The place would fold. For every employee that has $1 and goes out, spends $1, 60 cents of that dollar stays in the community at least 3 times. That's what trickle. You guys keep corrupting everything. We say we want to limit the EPA. You guys say we want to get rid of it. We want dirty air, dirty water. We don't want any of that. We want the government to be reasonable about everything. Yes, we don't want dirty water, but we want jobs. We don't want the government to keep shutting down jobs and then paying out welfare, which you like, but yet you grumble about subsidizing. And then you want everybody to have higher paying jobs. Now, how much do you pay? Well, you don't buy burgers, but if you went to McDonald's and you bought a burger and those guys are getting paid $7, $8 an hour. Now you're going to pay them $15 an hour. How much do you think that burger is going to cost? Do you think the middle-class people are going to be able to afford to buy that burger? No. So the amount of people buying burgers are going to go down. Now what's going to happen? People will lose their job. You know, you guys are just ridiculous. You guys go to the extreme on everything.
But that's actually not what the evidence has shown. When people are paid more, they can afford more, and it helps the economy. And you should be upset that we are subsidizing corporations for not paying their people well, and those people who are working 40 hours a week are getting food stamps because they can't afford to live because of the poor wages these huge corporations are paying, paying these people not even to be able to live. And we as taxpayers are subsidizing their workforce. Do you think that's good? If that's not welfare, whatever. But let's just keep it down at $7, $8 an hour. No one can live on $14,000 or $16,000 a year. Maybe in Idaho, anywhere else, no. And you know what? If the burger was, I think they said it would be 70 cents more. So be it. People can afford more when they're making more. And that's evidence. Go look at the facts in the economics.
Coming up next hour, we will have Kelly. I've been calling her Kathy Jones. It's Kelly Jones.
It's Kelly. It's your name.
Kelly. How could I forget that?
I have no idea.
Kelly Jones will be our guest next and she's a novelist. She's written several books, and this one is called Evel Knievel Jumps the Snake River Canyon. So it should be interesting this next hour here on Top Story. Hey, welcome back to Top Story. 7360300 is always the number to call. Welcome back, Jill. We're going to say goodbye to Cassie now. It's 9 o'clock,
Cassie.
so she's going to go and shadow other parts of the station here. So if you're watching the podcast, you can see her walk out. There she goes.
I think Cassie decided she was a liberal.
Well, the verdict is not in.
Only took one segment. Boom!
I don't think it's that bad yet.
I think it is.
Don't worry, folks. We haven't lost her yet.
No, we have.
I don't think so.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, this is going to be fun. We have Kelly Jones with us. Kelly is from Twin Falls, living in Boise now. She is an author. She has written several books. And the latest one, Evel Knievel Jumps the Snake River Canyon. And she's going to be having a book signing today. So we just as well have her come on here and talk about it. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
Well, good morning, Kelly and Jill.
Yes. How are you doing today?
I'm great.
So you're from Twin Falls.
I grew up in Twin Falls, yes.
And we actually went to school together, I guess.
Well, you were several years younger.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Same grade school, though.
Yeah, St. Ed's.
Okay,
St. Ed's.
good.
Yeah. I didn't think anybody was older than I am, but...
There are a few of us still out here.
Unfortunately, right, Kelly?
Now, you are an author. You live in Boise, and you're coming to Twin Falls today for a book signing. What's this all about?
I am. I will be at Elevation 486 this afternoon from 4 to 7, signing my latest book, which is a novella and short story collection. And it's called Evel Knievel Jumps the Snake River Canyon and Other Stories Close to Home.
So, Kelly, we thought your title wasn't accurate. It should have been Evel Knievel Fell into the Snake River Canyon.
Well, you'll have to read the story, and you might be able to figure out why I said he jumped it.
Oh, okay. I get it.
So what kind of stories are in this? Is it about what happened, or what could people expect from this book?
Well, as Kelly said, I have written several other books, and they've been based in places like Paris, France, and Florence, Italy, and Munich, and I have another one coming out early next year that's set in Prague. And this story is very different because the title story, of course, is set in Twin Falls, Idaho, where I grew up. And the other stories... it's not always mentioned in the stories where they take place, but you do get the feel that these are happening in small towns. So these stories are very different from what I have been writing. Excuse me. The title story is about the summer of 1974 when Evel Knievel came to Twin Falls. And I talked to several people. I was there. I watched the jump. And, of course, you hear stories from people in Twin Falls, where they were when Evel Knievel attempted to jump the Snake River Canyon.
It's like, who shot President Kennedy? Where were you? People
Yeah,
remember.
It's almost that type of thing for people in Twin Falls. But anyway, after talking to several people, and I have a brother who is quite a bit younger than I am, so he was, I think, just on the verge of being a teenager when this happened. And his stories, they seem to be the ones that really showed what was happening in Twin Falls, kind of the innocence of the town versus the big-time promoters who were, not always real honest. So I wanted to tell a story about, the people of Twin Falls and how this affected them. So the story is told from the point of view of a 10-year-old boy.
Okay, I see. So then your brother is kind of that 10-year-old boy.
No.
Oh, he's not. Oh, okay.
No, but some of the things that he told me that he saw in Twin Falls that summer, I thought, this is pretty exciting for a child. I mean, it was exciting for a lot of people in Twin Falls, but when you picture a child seeing all these motorcycle gangs coming into town, and I guess the city park was, a campsite for these people that were coming to watch the jump.
Yeah.
And down at Shoshone Falls.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What do you remember seeing since you were at the jump? How far away were you? And do you remember seeing our own KLIX call the event?
Well, when I was living in Boise at the time, so I actually just went to Twin Falls to watch the jump. And I have family still there. My parents are still in Twin Falls.
Oh, okay.
And we were sitting behind the Holiday Inn. I think there used to be maybe a golf course back there or something.
Yeah, there was, as a matter of fact. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, because I remember sitting in the grass, and so we had a pretty good view. Of course, back in 1974, there was a lot of empty space.
Right, exactly.
And so just sitting behind the Holiday Inn, we could see it quite clearly. And I mean, I remember watching it. Of course, he went straight up, straight down, and we all thought he was dead.
You remember it the way I did. I told you I wasn't crazy because so many people say, oh, no, he actually jumped the canyon, then the wind blew him back. And I keep wanting to say, that's malarkey.
Yeah, what I saw was he went straight up and straight down.
That's
and
what I saw.
We know now that the parachute, I don't know if he pushed the button or if it was a malfunction.
Yeah,
and
that's still in dispute.
Yeah, we won't know. But that's what I saw. And as far as what was going in, what was happening in Twin Falls before or after, I don't really recall that. I was 8 months pregnant at the time.
Yeah.
And so what I remember, I mean, here I was preparing for my first child, so I have no memory of, that wasn't important to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So was that scary to you? Did you think, oh my gosh, he died? And then what did you do? Did you go, okay, well, that's over? Or did you panic?
I did think he's dead. We all thought that, but I don't remember feeling upset about it.
Well, here,
that was his decision to do that,
Here's kind of the thinking that I had about it at the time, because I was in radio back then. We were getting calls from radio stations all over the world.
Right.
And everybody had the idea that he's either going to make it or he's going to die.
Yeah.
Right.
And until he didn't make it and didn't die, it really didn't dawn on us who were thinking that until that point. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess he doesn't have to die if he doesn't make it,
He could live.
That was kind of the way we thought. If he doesn't make it, he's going to die.
Yes, and I think that's what he thought, too, really. He was either going to make it or he was going to die, but he was barely injured. He had a few scratches on his face, and, of course, that set off a lot. I guess you'd call them riots on the canyon edge. These people had paid $25, and here was this little sputter.
Yeah, back in 1974, $25 was
what would be the
a handful
equivalent
of
today?
money.
Like $100 for a ticket? You think that'd be equivalent now?
I'd say more than that. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, you're probably right. Yeah.
So people were upset.
You're probably right.
They're like, that was it. They were upset. What were they doing?
Well, they burned down the porta potties. They burned a lot of Twin Falls vendors had set up stands to sell food and whatever.
Yeah.
And the crowd rioted.
Yeah, and
my
I think they set fire to one of the beer trucks, and
I think, yeah. And
Yeah.
the porta potties, I remember that.
yeah, exactly.
And a lot of that I didn't remember back then, but I did some, I read some articles in the Times News, and there was a good article in the Rolling Stone and one in Sports Illustrated. So I had to do a little research because I didn't have that memory or that knowledge.
Kelly, we have a caller. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Maybe it's somebody you know.
Oh, dear.
Top story. You're on the air with Kelly Jones.
Hi, Kelly. Hi, Jill.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Doing good. Do you have a question for?
I was 8 years old when Knievel jumped, and of course, as an 8-year-old boy jumping bicycles over garbage cans.
You're in my story.
No kidding.
Who is this?
I'm just saying the boy who tells the story is 10 years old when he's telling it. So any boy, any man who was 6 to 13 at that time and has memories of that, read the story. Read the story, and then tell me if I got it right.
You can go to the book signing today and get you a copy of this book.
I most certainly will.
All right.
Great.
I was listening a couple of days ago, and you were talking about the dog whisperer, Caesar Milan, and I know Jill's having problems with her cat.
Yeah.
That's actually Jackson Galaxy.
Jackson
it's
Galaxy?
The cat whisperer.
Oh.
There you go.
So go to Animal Planet, and I know she's having problems and grieving.
Yeah.
We've dealt with that several times. We have 5 cats ourselves.
Wow.
Now today she woke me up at 4, but I have to say, I won't take away from Kelly. We'll talk about this a little later. So anyway, but thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
All
that.
right, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jill.
Yeah.
I do agree a lot with your thoughts and philosophies.
Okay.
I do have a gay cousin and a gay friend musician. I do believe in gay marriage.
Yeah.
But I am extremely conservative. So do us all listeners a favor, and when somebody makes a point, please don't talk over them.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, you had some advice there.
Yeah, thank
all right. So anyway, back to Kelly's book here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So who should buy this book?
Well, the book is written for adults. It is from the point of view of a child, but it's written for adults. My granddaughter, who's only 11, asked me if she could read it, and I kind of thought, I'd rate it PG-13.
Oh, okay.
There are a few things in it. It's definitely not a book for children, but it's a book for people that enjoy reading about the area, that enjoy kind of looking back at a more innocent time. And I'd like to mention, too, especially for Kelly, it is a collection of short stories, so there are 5 other stories. The Evel Knievel story is a novella, so it's about half of the book. But there's a short story called How to Attract a Man, and it is written about a Catholic grade school during the 60s.
Oh, so that would be about wow,
but from the perspective of the woman, I'm thinking, right?
Right, from the perspective of a woman looking back at her time.
All right, so I can read it and I can think back of all the things I did wrong.
Think back, yeah, but it is from the point of view of a woman looking back. She's visiting with her friend, and they went to this Catholic grade school, which it isn't named as a Twin Falls school, but
I see.
But we all know which one it was.
Okay, so this one book then has all this stuff in it, so they can pay one price and get all these stories.
Right. It's a novella and a short story collection.
Okay, very good. So let's go over then one more time. That'll be at Elevation 486.
Mm-hmm. Right on the canyon edge.
Okay, 4 until 7 o'clock today. That's today.
Right, and I am giving away a $50 gift certificate for Elevation 486. If you come out and buy a book, I'll put your name in the jar.
And then also, aren't you giving $1 from every book sale to the Magic Valley Arts Council?
Right, the Magic Valley Arts Council is also located in that building, and I'm giving $1 for each book that I sell today.
How much is your book, Kelly?
It's $12.
Okay, great.
Cheap at twice the price.
Right.
All right. Kelly
best
Jones,
of luck.
it's been fun talking to you. Thank you very much,
Well,
and good
thank
luck
you,
at your book
Kelly
signing.
and Jill. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, there you go. Knievel Jumps the Snake River Canyon. You can get that book along with several other little novellas with it today from 4 until 7 at Elevation 486. Sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
7360300 is the number to call here on Top Story. Yesterday's $100 instant winning name is Dylan Deckard.
Dylan Deckard, congratulations.
Your $100 word of the day for today is cracker.
Cracker.
C-R-A-C-K-E-R, cracker.
Cracker. Eat a cracker.
Go to our website at newsradio1310.com. Click on Word of the Day. Put in Word of the Day. Listen tomorrow. If you hear your name tomorrow, play the Word of the Day today. You win $100. I got a message on my phone a couple of days ago from someone who heard their name.
Yeah?
So she called and she said, yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of someone. I heard my name on the radio on the Word of the Day.
Yes.
So... goodbye.
Did she?
She never left a name or anything or contact information or anything.
I wonder if she played the word of the day.
I don't know. I have no idea.
How did she get your cell phone? Was it your cell phone or your office phone?
We got one of those automated answers. Let me tell you something. If you call 733-7512, what is it? Use the one, I forget what, a 0 maybe to get an operator. Just use that one. You'll get a live body. You can tell them what you did, what you need, what you want, and they can handle it. You know.
What's that number again? I don't even.
733-7512.
7512. I don't even know the number of the station.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So there you go. And they can get you in touch with the right people.
All right, good to know.
Going through these menus, these automated answering systems,
I
cuss them every time I deal with one, and yet when you call us out here, I'm the one who's the voice on the answering machine.
Isn't it so funny? And then you're cursing them, and they go, I'm sorry. I didn't, I couldn't understand what you were saying. It's like, good thing.
Yeah.
Good thing.
So anyway, there you go.
That's funny.
Just good advice. Okay, so we've got some news, a little more news we weren't able to get to, and this is kind of some interesting stuff here, okay? Parents should replace juice and fizzy drinks with jugs of water at mealtimes. Diet experts have advised to reduce their children's sugar intake and cut their risk of obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Senior health scientists said that sugar-sweetened drinks were the biggest source of sugar intake across all ages, but were a particular problem among children and teenagers.
Well, think about it, because how many times, they come up, we have nieces, nephews, whatever, everyone's showing up, whatever, and you think, oh, do you have juice? Well, what about water?
Yeah.
I do disagree with this in one sense, is I don't think you should drink at your meals anyway. Whether it's water, milk. You can drink wine or beer, something fermented, which helps your digestion. But when you have a glass of milk, and I used to do this as a child too, I would wash my food down with my drink. You take a few bites.
Well, that makes sense. You can
and
eat
you
more
wash
that
it
way.
down. But
what's wrong with that?
In order to help your digestion and to get the most nutrients out of your food, actually digestion starts in your mouth and your saliva, and it starts with chewing. So the more you chew, the more nutrients you get, the easier on your body for it to digest. So, when you drink.
So beer or wine is okay.
Well, yeah,
but anything else is bad.
Yeah, it's true. It's fermentation, which is good. But the thing of it is, and you don't gulp it, but the thing of it is it dilutes your digestive enzymes. You wash down your food so you don't chew well. And that's what happens. Or you get filled up. A lot of, I used to teach those kids cooking classes at CSI, and I would ask these little munchkins, they were 5th to 7th graders. At those ages, they still tell you the truth. And they would say when their parents would get a milk or chocolate milk or soda or whatever before the meal, they drink it, they get full, and then they don't eat really what's nutritious.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know what? I tell them, so I would have them not drink at their meals for a week, and I would have them tell me how they felt. And, you could drink before or after, maybe 20 minutes after. But during it, you help wash down your food and you don't really chew and you don't get the most out of your food. It helps your intestines,
did they
helps
feel better?
Everything. Yeah, they did. The little pumpkins were so cute. I mean, I had them eating vegetables. It was amazing. One girl had like 3 helpings of sauteed kale. And, they don't get those foods.
Yeah.
And then their bodies are craving it because their parents feed them the same things. Go to any restaurant, you see the kids, chicken fingers and fries, or pizza, or burgers and fries, or it's like, and they would tell me they were bored with their food. Who could eat the same thing 2 or 3 times a day, let alone every time they go out?
This generation is kind of being raised with restaurant food, isn't it?
Well, it is. And then the parents like, oh, they have chicken fingers, and it's like, okay, well, maybe you should order an adult meal and split it between your kids. Have a healthier meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't. They're not going to grow up eating that and then at 18 magically eat vegetables. They aren't. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but they aren't.
I know sometimes, and I have this inkling that if I am craving something, like yesterday, I went to my mother-in-law's. She gave us a little bag of fresh radishes right out of the garden.
Did she?
And I
Nice
thought,
for
man,
you.
that sounds good. So I reached in there and grabbed some. I kind of feel when we are craving something like that, that's our body telling us that you need something that's in that.
Yeah, you need something, or you're trying to make balance. So a lot of
Yeah.
times if you eat something too salty, like say you do a bag of potato chips, not that you ever do, Kelly.
No.
But then, and then maybe you'd want a candy
I don't
bar.
need just one bag.
Or candy bar. Or if you've eaten a candy bar, a lot of times you crave something salty. It's your
Yeah.
way to make balance, your body's way to make balance. So that's a way to control your cravings too. It's very interesting. I do agree on a lot of this. I don't agree with drinking jugs of water at dinner.
But just everybody should drink more water and less of the
Yeah,
other stuff.
yeah,
probably,
definitely
huh?
cut them off the juice, or dilute the
What
juice.
about those little things that I got, those Mios, that you squirt, those sweeteners that you squirt in the water and flavored water?
What's it made with, Cal? What's
I don't,
what?
I
How
don't
many
know.
ingredients
I
are
can't
in there?
pronounce that stuff. What
Then
do you
don't
mean?
put it in there. Enjoy your water.
7360300 is the number to call. 7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. Get a hold of Kelly at 404-2997. He's with Stanley & Company. He has the Lowen Honey Loader. He's sold several of these throughout the Magic Valley, and if you would like to look into purchasing one of these and you want to see it in operation, get a hold of Kelly, and he can take you to where one of them is working and operating, and you can kick the tires and talk to the owner, and maybe he'll even let you try it,
Or you could go next to it and see if you can beat it 7 miles an hour for
That's
them. And
right.
how fast can you do
we'll
that?
Give you a scoop shovel.
Go.
And you can go against
Have
the
a
Lowen
race.
Honey Loader, which loads all types of manure, from liquid to frozen and dry. It's 7 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn good stuff. Kelly is the guy to call, 404-2997. 7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story, and you are on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. Those liquid drinks you squirt in there, please read the label.
I can't pronounce the stuff, so how can I read
That's
it?
the problem. I when I was on my diet, I was doing that a lot, and I started reading labels, and I drank a lot of that stuff, and I always wondered why it had a familiar taste.
Yeah.
The sugar-free stuff is sweetened with propylene glycol.
Oh.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it makes stuff stick to your ribs.
That's RV antifreeze.
Thank you, Kyle. We agree. See?
That explains why I'm always
nasty.
hot.
Well, yeah, you're not going to freeze. You may not even rot when you die if you keep drinking that stuff.
No, that's true. I think it's in Sweden or Switzerland or something where people are not, their bodies aren't decomposing. They bury people on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That
not. They're because I think one of the sweeteners breaks down into formaldehyde. That's the byproduct.
I see. That
Correct.
could explain some stuff, too.
You will be here forever.
I wonder if that's an anti-aging device, then, to keep me from aging.
It's when you die, you will
So
not
far, it hasn't
decompose.
worked.
If the food doesn't decompose, that's a sign, too.
7360300. Top Story, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I read that there is people promoting formaldehyde as an anti-aging product. I think it's crazy. But, that's not the reason I called.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to extend on that subject we talked about the other day, which you guys are talking about, sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar is known to be toxic. Sugar is addictive. Sugar causes or promotes or supports cancer.
Yeah.
It supports diabetes. It supports cardiovascular health.
Yeah.
Or bad health, I should say. Sugar is the worst food in our system, and most of our food now has some type of sugar in it.
Now, I think you said the other day that you cut out all sugar, did you say?
Yeah, I drink soda pop or Coca-Cola, or up to 2 bottles, 3 bottles a day.
Oh, wow.
And it was like giving up cigarettes when I gave up smoking 30 years ago.
Wow.
It was
Did
real
you have major
hard.
withdrawals?
Huh?
Did you have major withdrawals?
Did you?
I think
Major
it's,
withdrawals.
oh, yes. I'm about over the withdrawal now. It's been a week ago today that I stopped. And I'm getting where it doesn't bother me so much. I still think I'd like to have a bottle, but I've gone this long. I'm not going to give it up now.
Have you noticed any change how you feel?
Oh, yeah. I feel quite a bit better already in just 1 week.
So what did you replace that with? Was just water?
No, I eat dark chocolate, maybe 1 piece a day to kind of curb the sweet tooth.
Okay.
There is a product at Fred Meyer called brown rice syrup, which is made from brown rice, so you don't get the up and down of sugar that I use for my desserts. And you can gently warm it, use it as syrup and things like that, but you don't get the craziness that you up and down from sugar. Doesn't affect your blood sugar.
I definitely like the idea of dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Except
there you go.
I don't know if I could just stop at 1 bite. I can get a whole Hershey's on the big Hershey bar dark chocolate.
I almost
and
regret
I can scarf that baby down in minutes.
I almost regret that study coming out because seriously, one guy that I know that he read the study and now all he does is eat like 3 or 4 candy bars a day, thinking, no, it's good for me, it's good for me, it's good for me.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's the way I look at it.
Come on.
Is it not?
Well, anything. Come on. There's a front and a back to everything. If you're going to eat 3 or 4 dark chocolate candy bars a day, thinking it's good for you, do you really think that's good for you? There's still sugar in there. There's still, cocoa butter in there. There's still, I mean, come on, people.
Eating is so difficult.
No, it's not.
It really is.
Stop eating like a science experiment and go back to natural food, whole grains, vegetables, soup, beans.
We do have a couple
happy.
of tomato plants and a couple of those
What's
crooked
better
neck
than
squash
that?
growing in our little. I made a little riser planter.
My cookbook, a lot of great recipes for you.
I forgot about your cookbook.
Soup. How could you? Come on.
All right. Well, hey, we've got a new Supreme Court ruling when we come back here on Top Story. 736-0300 is the number to call. The gentleman called back, talked to me during the break, and said he thinks I might be addicted to sugar. He might be right. I think it's more than just sugar.
I think that's an accurate prediction.
I am addicted to food. I'm on a seafood diet.
Kelly, I have tried.
I know.
I've tried over the years to help you.
And I have lost weight, and it just bounces back because I just enjoy eating. So I think I'm going to try just drinking water. I've heard that if you just drink water, that'll...
Then this is what people do. Then they go on these radical, crazy diets. Again, anything with the word "die" in it can't be good.
DIET,
cannot be good. So anyway, just do normal. Stop eating like a science experiment. Eat some whole grains, vegetables, beans.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's tough.
Fruit. It's not. It can be delicious and healthy.
Those donuts that Doug Mon brings every Friday morning. I mean, they're so good.
Anyway, you got to read the book. You know what? This gentleman should read the book Sugar Blues. If he has, I read that in college, and I stopped eating sugar in college.
Really?
Because of that book, Sugar Blues.
We raise sugar beets around here. Which
I
go to sugar.
I know. I'm sorry. Sugar Blues by William Duffy.
Okay.
Anyway.
There is a new Supreme Court ruling as of yesterday. Police have to obtain a warrant before snooping through your cell phone, delivering a unanimous decision that begins to update legal understanding of privacy rules to accommodate 21st century technology. Police agencies argued that searching through data on cell phones was no different from asking someone to turn out his pockets, but the justices rejected that, saying a cell phone holds the most personal and intimate details of someone's life and falls squarely within the Fourth Amendment's privacy protections. What do you think about that? 736-0300.
I agree with that. That's one of the decisions I agree with lately. Think about everything you have on your cell phone.
Oh, yeah. I know. You got your girlfriend's addresses and phone numbers, your boyfriend's addresses and phone numbers.
Those sex pictures you take, sexting.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's all right there. The fact that technology now allows an individual to carry such information in his hand does not make the information any less worthy of the protection for which the founders fought.
Yeah.
Chief Justice John Roberts Jr. wrote in the unanimous opinion, "Our answer to the question of what police must do before searching a cell phone seized incident to an arrest is accordingly simple. Get a warrant."
I agree on that one. I agree on that one.
We'll have to ask Grant Lobes about this when he comes in next time.
I don't think that's the equivalent of emptying your pockets. You don't carry everything you own, all your personal information in your pockets, in your phone. It's amazing. I think that's a good ruling.
736-0300, top story. You're on the air. What do you think of the ruling?
Good morning again.
Well, hello there.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Yeah.
Your frustrations with Kelly's eating habits.
Yep.
You know exactly how all of Magic Valley feels.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
I have some fans.
Wait a minute. We're talking about the Supreme Court ruling here.
Come on.
The justices even said police cannot check a cell phone's call log because it could contain more information than phone numbers.
What else could your call log contain?
Pursuing the call log is a violation of privacy that can be justified only with a court-issued warrant.
What else could your call log have? Like texts? Is that what they're saying?
Don't know. Probably. I don't know. Legal analysts said the ruling will change the way police operate, but predicted investigators will adjust. Well, they'll just go back to the way they used to do it before cell phones.
Yeah.
Before you had cell phones. We managed to get by without cell phones.
I know.
I'm sure that this is not going to be a huge impediment on law enforcement. I mean, it might not be as handy or as easy, but it's not like we've always had cell phones that they could look at. Privacy advocates, meanwhile, said the ruling should ignite a broader rethinking of protections at a time when Americans are putting more personal information online.
Yeah.
Which really is funny because we say this is great, the Supreme Court ruling, that they can't look on our phones, and yet you look on the social networks and the stuff that people put on there. I am shocked at the things that people put on there.
I know.
They talk about their relationships with someone. Oh, I met this guy, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And yet then they turn around. Then they turn right around and they'll write something about how I hate all these people who put all their political stuff on here. It's like, well, maybe those people see it the other way. Anyway, Senator Patrick Leahy, Vermont Democrat and chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, said Congress should extend the same privacy protections to email. Senator Ron Wyden, Oregon Democrat and a member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, said GPS information should be protected.
GPS information? Oh, where you're located?
Yeah, like where you're at.
On your phone.
At a time when the details of a person's whole life can be in their pocket, the Supreme Court sent a clear message that Fourth Amendment rights still apply in the digital era, Mr. Wyden
Well, get a warrant, but a lot of times the GPS has solved a lot of crimes. Oh, no, I wasn't there when I killed her, and then you find out where they are.
I agree, but how are you going to...
No, I say get a warrant. I agree with this decision.
Yeah, because you can't have it both ways. You can say, well, you're a nice guy, so your rights are protected from GPS coordinates, but this guy over here, he's a scumbag, so we're going to go ahead and use it.
I think it's good.
Well, it's time now for the Huckabee Report, brought to you today by Waddell & Reed, as always, at 736-6563. You can hear the Huckabee Report each weekday at this time, brought to you exclusively by Waddell & Reed. Laura Nelson, Josh Funk, and Steve Stanger, financial advisors. And the number is 736-6563.
Okay, I just want to make one statement. I know there's sugar beet farmers out there. This is my advice, too. Instead of using the artificial sweeteners, the aspartame, the saccharin, the da-da-da-da-da, use the sugar instead. If you're going to make a choice, I prefer you use the sugar over the artificial sweeteners with the chemicals that Actually, aspartame, when it was originally created, it was supposed to be for a pesticide until
it was a rat poison, wasn't it?
Yeah, until they touched his lips. He was smoking a cigarette. It was like in 1898, and then the guy goes, "Wow, this is sweet." Boom. Anyway, that was
instead of rat poison,
yeah.
we'll make an artificial sweetener.
Right. So anyway, that's my compromise on that. If you're going to choose between the two, choose the sugar.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, I've saved myself a little bit. Oh, also, I've told you about the UPS store. So go to the corner of the UPS store is what I was going to say. Go to the corner of the UPS store because they are in the back. Rent a mailbox. They're actually located on the corner of Blue Lakes and Addison. And if you tell them that Joe or Kelly sent you, you'll receive 1, 2, or 3 additional months free depending on the length of the lease you choose. But you have to tell them Joe or Kelly sent you. You can do packing, shipping, buying cute little animal cards. They're open on Saturdays, so if you have a yard sale and you need extra copies of something, just run there. They'll make copies for you. No drop-off fees for prepaid packages or mail. Go to the UPS store, corner of Blue Lakes and Addison. Tell Charles and the crew that Jill and Kelly sent you. What? You were going to do your field day.
That's right, I was.
I saw that look.
It must be my memory. Can sugar affect the memory?
It can.
Okay.
It can.
Hey, what was I going to say?
Oh, the other thing is the U.S. is about to play Germany. They said ready in 10 minutes. Go!
You do that pretty good. You do that very well, as a matter of fact.
I taped it, but I said it's not going to help because we're going to probably hear it all over the radio.
Well, speaking of hearing it all over the radio, this Saturday at the KOA campground in Jerome, the Magic Valley Amateur Radio Club, as you've heard me talking about this week. See, we get extra points in this if we publicize it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So how many points do you get?
I'm getting our ham radio club another, I think, 500 points or something like that.
Points
because
from
I'm
whom?
talking about it. Well, when we make all these contacts of other ham radio operators around the world, you get so many points. So if you publicize it, then you get more points you can add to that. So that's what I'm. So come on over to the KOA this Saturday. It starts at noon, and we'll have our tent set up. We'll have the new tower trailer set up that me and another guy built for the club, and a few others went in on that too. So we're pretty proud of that, and we'll contact people all over at least U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, and it's for 24 hours. You guys are going to be
24 hours.
Kelly won't be, but the hardcore ones will be.
It's a ham radio club event.
Okay, good.
So it'll be fun to see you there. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, Jill.
Bye, Cal.